this is T. Many of you saw this heart-shaped box that I made on my blog and was asking how I made it, so I decided to do a short little video to show you how it's done. It is 3D and it's made by using the Basic George cartridge and the heart that's on page 119. So to get started, you're going to need 3 to 4 sheets of cardstock and then a couple of sheets of patterned paper. The paper that I used for the original box was some Junkets paper that I had for quite a long time. Not really sure how long or how old it was. And then this paper here, it was last year's paper by Rusty Pickle called Chocolate Kisses. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully what you've cut now on your Cricut is you would have 2 hearts that are measured 7.5 inches. And again, this is the heart from page 119 of Basic George. In addition to the 2 hearts at 7.5, you're going to have a heart that's at 6.5 and a heart that's at 6 1/4. In addition to that, you want to cut 2 strips of cardstock that are 2.5 inches by 12 inches and then score at the 2-inch mark on both pieces. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. And then you also want to have 2 strips that are 1.5 by 12 inches long, scored at the 1-inch mark. After you have scored, the next thing you want to do is we're going to cut little rectangles in to make it easier for us to fold. So you're just going to go in at an angle on your scissors up to that point of where your line is. Okay, so continue doing that. You want to do this on all 4 of your strips, and then we'll get back together and I'll show you how to assemble your box. Okay, let's put our lid together. So what you want to do is you have 2 smaller circles. You have a 6 1/4 and a 6 1/2. We're going to use the bigger of the 2, which is the 6 1/2. Then you're going to take your 2 strips that are 1.5 by 12. The first thing I want you to do is just run this through your hand to give this thing some motion. So when you lay it down, it's easier to put down. The next thing you're going to do is on one end, you're going to score maybe about 1/4 of an inch. Okay? And now let's add our adhesive. So I'm using the ATG gun. But you do want something that's pretty steady, pretty firm here. And then just take all of your points and push them up. Okay? Now starting on the end is you're going to put that to fold down. You're going to put this little fold right in the corner, right there. And then just start layering it on, tucking it in and pushing it down. Being sure that you get it to fit in there really well. Okay? And you want this piece that's here, you know, I think it might be, let's cut another little groove into it. Give it a little bit of a haircut. Because you want this piece to fold just like that. So when you put this side on, it has something to grab onto. Okay? Now let's take our second piece, and we're going to start it down on this end, lining up our corners, and then just push it in. You know what I should have done is let me add a little piece of adhesive right here so it has something to hold on to. I need to fix this. Let me just cut that off. I don't know what it's doing, but it's giving me a little bit of a tuck. There we go. Much better. See how that just sits down in there much better? Okay, so let's take this piece, starting right on the edge, lining up these two pieces, and go all the way around with them. Making sure that it's nice and tight. Okay, now when you get to this end, what you want to do is fold your paper into a V right where the paper meets. So get it nice and tight in there. And then just use your fingers to pinch it. Just like that. Okay, then you can add a little adhesive right to this little flap there. If you were smart, you would have done that before you started putting your box together, but and you know, again, it's about a 1/4 inch, so you could have pre-scored that. So just make sure that everything lays down really tight and snug. Okay, next thing you want to do is turn it over and put adhesive all the way around. Sorry for all the rattling. You want to be sure that you get a nice snug amount, and that this thing doesn't go anywhere. Okay? And don't get your finger stuck to it. Then what you're going to want to do is take one of your 7.5 inch hearts and just position this in there. I have to stand up to do it. Okay, so now you have your lid. And if you end up with things like that, just trim it. Okay, now what you want to do is the same thing with your other two hearts, using your larger pieces. And that is how you put the base of the box together. Super easy, right? So let's take one final look at the box on how I decorated it. What I did is I cut another 7.5 inch heart using the patterned paper, inked around the edges, just glued it right on top. Then I took some 1 inch, maybe a little bit under 1 inch strips of paper, wrapped it all the way around here. And then for the bottom of the box, I did a 2 inch strip of paper and wrapped it all the way around. Took some ribbon, tied it in bow. I have 2 thicknesses. And then for these little black curly cues, I took a strip of cardstock, wrapped it around this to just give it some curl to it. And then the flower is cut out of Flower Shop. Maybe one day I'll do a video on how I made this rose. It was super easy to put together. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to see what you make with it. Thanks!